5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. What's going on, y'all? How you doing? Welcome back to the Whiskey Capitalist podcast live stream. Can you hear us over there, movies?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Sweet.
Yeah, my Halloween too loud. You guys all right?
No, we are good. No echo, no nothing. So before we get too far into that, I don't want to just start talking to you without anyone knowing who you are. So we have Movies Merica on just moviesmerica.com, correct? Is like your website?
Yeah, Merica.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are we saying?
Did I lose you?
Are we saying first names?
Here.
I think.
First names. Yep, Van. Yep.
Okay, Van. Awesome. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to dox you on the internet. Yeah. So, Movies Merica here. We're going to talk about some mobster movies. If you didn't see from the thumbnail, it's going to be pretty cool. My name's Ian, or at Ian Til Death of the Til Death Podcast, and
I'm Shawn Cav. My handle is at I'm Shawn Cav, and then we have Movies Merica downstairs, down here in the little triangular thing here going on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you can see his handle.
No, it's cut off with like the whiskey capitalist thing as well.
Yeah,
okay, sorry, buddy.
There we go. Movies Merica.
I remain anonymous. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're going to talk about Goodfellas and The Godfather at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you guys can shame me for whatever other mob movies I haven't watched yet or recently.
Yeah, because there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot
exactly.
Of them, but there hasn't been a good one that's come out in quite some time, though. Like a newer one. I think the last decent one was probably Black Mass.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I was gonna say The Departed, but then Black Mass has been out more recently than The Departed.
Yeah, I was trying to think like more recent movies that came out, like, you know, because like The Departed, what are we talking, like
that was 2000s.
early 2000s? Yeah,
Black Mass has been more recent than
I think that was like 2000. I want to say like 16, 17 ish for like Black Mass.
Yeah, well, Johnny Depp was in a courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
What was in a courtroom? You said
well before Johnny Depp was in a courtroom. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get too far into that, we'll can give you all a little intro. There you go.
Who else in the level crime say yeah?
Look at that big juicy booty.
Hot like a tamale.
Be offended.
Do you love black people? Do you grow?
You know the thing.
Here next.
Don't be rude. You ain't black.
Shawn Cav.
You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
Heartfelt.
A man and a woman.
Yeah, we're getting ads right now for like some kind of like love matching website or something like that in the comments.
Wait, hold on.
Are you seeing this?
All right, so let's block this user.
Are you seeing this?
Yes.
What's going on here?
That.
Yeah.
Done.
Hey, I gotta go. That link looks pretty good. I don't know.
That's pretty good. Dang, we are getting spammed. All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So before we get into it, make sure you check out solo.to/thewhiskeycapitalist.
Oh, yeah.
It gives all of our links to where you can find us, where you can stream us. Well, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at this point. Never know, that might change. Also, if you want any graphics or, you know, design or anything like that, go to solo.to/tildeathstudios. It'll be me. And then patreon.com/sippin with Shawn. And if you want to go into a little bit about
that's me. And like, yeah, that's my personal little podcast channel where I do a video show and I talk about all kinds of different things, whatever's kind of on my mind at the moment. And right now I'm uploading a lot of episodes completely for free. So I would say just go and check it out. And you know, what do you got to lose? What do you have to lose, really?
Everything to lose by not listening.
And he wants me to keep talking because apparently either my microphone or Ian's microphone is currently not working, but that's okay because I'm going to kind of help direct the show in the meantime. And so movies, like we got to talking yesterday for a while about like mob movies, and I was like, all right, we have to kill this conversation because I just feel like we are gonna keep going and we're gonna have all these quotes and all these like cool moments, and then like it's not gonna ever, like, we're not gonna be able to record any of this for like the podcast. It was gonna be a real bummer, and I didn't want to have any dead air like that. So I'm glad that we stopped the conversation. But man, we were really getting into some of these different things. But why don't we just kind of start with like me and you? I know it's our personal favorite one, like Goodfellas. You can kind of kick it off if you want to like share your thoughts. Have you ever done a review on Goodfellas before?
I have not yet. So I can't believe I haven't. But you know, every once in a while there's like a slow movie week, and I go and I do like a retro review of movies that came out in the past. So I'm gonna have to make a point of making a Goodfellas a review here in the future. So, but I try to keep my episodes like a half an hour or less. That's going to be a tough task, man, with Goodfellas, man. That might be that might be Lawrence of Arabia length.
I mean, like, there is a ton to cover in that movie. And I think one of the coolest parts about that movie is that, like, all right, so it's based off of the book Wise Guy. And when I read that one, I was just floored by how close, like, it was from the book to the movie. Like, they covered everything and they put it all, like, to where it was almost like scene for scene, like word for word, like it was almost directly from the book exact. And I thought that was really cool. I found that to be really entertaining. I like the fact that the book had like a lot of added details about like their personal lives and stuff, especially with like Henry and Karen, like with like them having multiple marriages, not marriages, but like multiple weddings essentially before finally like getting married, which you see in the movie. and like that's the big one, the big Italian one where you meet all the Peters and the Pauls, and they're all married to Maries.
Yep. Yeah. It's I heard there's a lot more detail in the book there. You know, you can only cover so much like in a 2.5 hour movie. So, but I wish that they would have gone a little bit longer, or maybe someday. This might be blasphemy, but maybe we'll get like a Goodfellas miniseries or something like that, like on HBO or something like that, where you could like just really go in depth. Now they're going to have a really tough mountain to climb, though, to try to beat Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, or maybe they might not even try.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't read Wise Guy. I know Nicholas Pileggi did. I haven't read it, but I need to read that. I also want to read Henry Hill's biography.
There you go.
Yeah. Henry Hill came out with a biography like in '94, and that's got what he has to say about it. I heard like Henry Hill is like a renowned liar, but
well, I mean, like, you mean he started off as a criminal, so I mean, like, it's not far fetched to say that, like, he lies too.
Right. That's probably the one sin he doesn't. He never lies, So yeah. But in Goodfellas, he was lying to Paulie. So yeah, he's like, I'm not dealing drugs. No.
Well, just like most drug addicts, they typically will lie. So like that was just
no way.
Yeah, weird, right?
I never did that. I'm talking about lying, not drugs. I did plenty of that.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm back. Sorry, guys. Well, hey, audio issues. Weren't we just talking about this?
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, but you know what? Like, we were just talking about, like, I would worry if they ever did do a mini series for Goodfellas, just because of the fact that there's so much to cover, like you were saying, and like but like you see what they did with like the Many Saints of Newark, where like, yeah, there were some cool moments in that, but like, hey, you know what? Let something amazing just kind of like die. Like, all right, Sopranos. Fantastic show. I came here with my Tony Soprano kind of like loose button down, my pinky rings. I'm all ready to go. But like from my mob movies, but like when I saw the Many Saints of Newark, they totally made Tony out to be this big pussy, and then like I was like, oh god, and like it's his kid just does like, yeah, but he does like the whole like the accent, I guess, with the who was and all that type of thing. He does like the whole like Newark-y type thing. It's not really a true, it's not a true Newark accent, but it's kind of reminiscent of it. And like, so like he could do that, but like, I don't know, he made Tony out to be like this big wimp, like, and like, I don't know, it should have been more just like Dickie Moltisanti, give us more Dickie. And like, it just kind of felt like it was too scatterbrained. We have to hit all these different things. We have to show all these different people so everyone feels nostalgic.
Right.
But it really didn't do too much for me after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the first mob movies, or one of the rare mob movies where I actually yawned when I was watching it, because I mean, it just didn't hold my attention whatsoever. I mean, I just think that like the show Sopranos had like this grit and this edge to it. It wasn't afraid to get nasty.
Oh yeah, that's the best part about it.
Yeah, it was like the stage at Bada Boom. It wasn't afraid to get messy. So and Bada Bing.
Bada Bing. Bada Bing.
The movie just seemed like Bada Bing. Bada Bing. Yeah, it was. But the movie just seemed like it was kind of going through the motions, it didn't really bring anything new to the table. But I did think that Alessandro Nivola playing Dickie Moltisanti, he was a highlight of the movie. I thought he did a really good job.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like the acting was not bad in the movie by any means. I just felt that they tried to cover so much. They even threw like the Newark riots in there, which was kind of cool. I'm glad they kind of like made mention to that because I mean, like, my grandfather was working in Newark at the time when all that shit was going on as well, and I think my dad had just gotten into like the union as well. They were iron workers and whatnot, so like, just working in construction and stuff, and then going to the local, which was all in Newark. Newark's probably like, I don't know, 40 minutes or so from me, so like I'm kind of familiar with like some of the spots and whatnot. Like, I used to always drive by the Satriali's, where the fucking it was called, with like the pig out front and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm really sorry we're doing all this conversation right now, and Ian has not watched any Sopranos.
No, you're good.
How could you say that?
I'm actually trying to figure out how to add myself as a moderator, my regular YouTube channel, so I can get rid of this fucking naked HD XYZ 84.
They love us. They
with us.
Yeah.
Naked YYZ. That's a hell of a Rush tribute show right there.
Naked HD XYZ.
Ooh, with those wrinkly bodies, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's say, wait. My biggest question is: you guys are surprised that they started a new show within the last 5 years based on old like IP and they fucked it up?
Oh, I'm not shocked at all. No, they have no problem with ruining a good thing. I mean, studios, production companies, just like, you know what? I don't care. This may be a sacred cow to a whole lot of people, but we are going to, take this money train home, man. We're going to ride this pony, and get paid. They don't care. So.
There was some kind of HBO special where they brought back the guys who were still alive in The Sopranos, and they talked about the fact that like they even weren't happy with the Many Saints of Newark movie. It's like, yeah, it didn't really do what everyone thought it was supposed to do, and this and that. It wasn't that great. They should just kind of let it go, because The Sopranos was a fantastic show, and I hate they do these tangents of like going into all the Sopranos lore and this and that when we were talking about Goodfellas of all things, one of my personal favorite movies of all times. And I don't know exactly what it is. I think I'm just a sucker for time period pieces.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's something magical about like seeing like the cars of like the 50s and the 60s and just like, I don't know, kids playing through the streets and just like the I guess the freedom of all of it that kind of went along with like the time period, and like just the fact that these guys they just they kind of cut people off, they like scammed people, they conned everybody, they had all kinds of different ways of like making money just to kind of like, I don't know, provide for their families and this and that. I don't know. I found it kind of like Robin Hood-esque. I don't know.
Yeah. I like it just because it adds to the epic feel of the movie. When you have a movie that starts out, like 40 years ago or something like that, and you're just following this cast of characters, and like Goodfellas, I think what started out maybe in the 50s or something like that. 40s.
It was like 45, 46, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That's Godfather. Godfather started like in the 30s, I believe.
Godfather started right after World War II.
60s or 70s, I think, was Goodfellas, right?
Yeah, I think Goodfellas was like the 50s, 60s, something
I believe it was like 54, 55, like it had started.
Yeah.
That's something great. Yay!
Yeah. I mean,
well, you crammed for this one, Ian.
I like those. Yeah, I like those movies like that. It just goes through the years, and it's interesting because you see Henry Hill as a kid, and then just goes through all the years, and finally he's like a guy who's getting too high on his own supply.
Yeah, that's a great observation. That's a great observation, and one of the things that always kind of gets me is like, what decade do all of these movies typically end? Like, where do all of the mob movies typically like finish up, and where everyone gets busted? The 80s.
Yep.
And why? It's Coke.
Right.
Coke ruined the mafia.
Yeah, I definitely have to say, after cramming, like you were saying, Shawn, I rewatched, because I knew I had seen Goodfellas at some point along the way, and obviously I'd seen The Godfather, but I just hadn't seen them in a long time. And mob movies aren't my favorite like category. I like them. I think they're great. I think it's really cool, like the scenery, the time periods, and like the kind of the way they talk to each other. And we'll get into other ones too, but The Departed is probably one of my favorite fucking movies, and it was just amazing. But it's not, it's not Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. It's not the kind of quintessential Marlon Brandos. But after watching, so I watched Goodfellas yesterday, watched The Godfather Part 1 last night, and then got about halfway through Godfather Part 2. But I didn't have subtitles for all the Italian in Godfather Part 2, so half of it I'm just like, well, I mean, it seems like he's saying fuck you, but I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, Italians are very kind of like emotional when they speak with their hands, and like you can kind of get the context from like the timbre of the voice. You understand what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The high pitch, the low pitch, the high pitch, just their facial expressions, and then you even get James Caan as Sonny. Like he likes, he's really mad when he bites his fist like that. He's like bites his fist, and that's how you know that Sonny Corleone is really pissed off, and he's about to kick somebody's ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that guy he kicked everyone's ass in that movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, James Caan, I think, did a pretty good job for that. I mean, it's like for a Jewish guy, he had me sold that he was, Italian. He was last name was Corleone, and he was the head of the Corleone family, and he just that ended up being his downfall in the movie. He's like a very emotional, very hot-tempered guy, but. Yeah, James Caan. I mean, to me, he'll always be known for as Sonny Corleone.
Very cool.
Yeah, dude, it was definitely dude, it kind of pissed me off. I will say, of like watching through The Godfather and having to wait until The Godfather 2 for Al Pacino to do something about his sister's or his brother-in-law, his sister's husband, who like totally put him up for James Caan to get fucking whacked.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was like, dude, that was one of the most things in the movie where I was like, why didn't you fucking do anything about that?
Yeah.
It's because it's a patience game. Like, like the thing when it came to the mob and like almost all of the hits, they always say like it doesn't come from like your enemy, it's from like your best friend. Your best friend comes and shoots you in the back of the head. You know, so it's like they let everything cool off. Everyone's happy and smiles. Hey, let's go in this bar over here, and then bang, right in the alley, and then just leave you there to die.
Yeah. So like Michael Corleone said that Vito Corleone told him, his father told him, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And that just came in handy. I mean, and because Michael Corleone, he was a Marine, right? And he was a war hero. He's an intelligent guy. He can strategize better than Sonny, and definitely better than Fredo. And so he knows to keep his enemies closer than his friends right there, and then it paid off in spades.
It after rewatching it, and because I knew the term Fredo, and like especially with the Chris Cuomo stuff, which just made me laugh. But like watching it again and remembering how much I fucking hated that character and how much dude, you just should have shot him fucking first 5 minutes in the movie. Like they would have saved so much bullshit. And I'm not saying that I feel the same way about Chris Cuomo, but
never.
I'm gonna drink whiskey and shut my mouth.
There you go. There you go.
We don't wish harm on any Cuomos whatsoever.
No, just like they didn't wish harm against old people. Anyways, so hey, remember, side note, remember I was telling you, Shawn, about that clear cola?
Sure.
Okay. So
Pepsi Clear.
That's cola, right?
Yeah, it says cola. Yeah.
It's cola. Okay, I'm going to pour this on the camera so you could see.
Yeah, it's like Pepsi Clear.
Dude, it's so weird. It tripped me out, and it still trips me out. Sorry.
Pepsi Clear was like a thing back in like the late 90s. Are you really that surprised that they created like a caramel-free soda?
Like a healthy one.
Have you ever had Sprite?
Well,
it's been long enough since Crystal Pepsi. No one will remember Crystal Pepsi. Time to make our mark.
Well, yeah, exactly. See, and yes, I have had 7-Up because I don't live under a rock. When it comes to mob movies, maybe a little bit, but that's 7-Up. That's like lemon lime. It makes more sense to me in my head.
We're talking about aesthetics of being able to see it, not taste. So if they just label it cola, cola doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have caramelization inside it.
Well, at least we all call it soda and not pop.
Well, that's true. Those are just terrible human beings.
Welcome to Hot Cola Talk.
Oh, rim shot.
All right. So, what were we just talking about before I decided to derail it with whiskey?
Well, we were getting into some Godfather stuff as well. But honestly, let's just kind of like do away with like, we're going to talk about Goodfellas. We're going to talk about Godfather. We're just going to talk mob movies. We're just going to talk everything that is mob related because it's just so much fun. It's such an interesting like world to kind of dive into, to kind of see like, I don't know, like the underbelly of like the cities and stuff like that. I really dig that stuff. I look forward to good mob movies, and I keep on like hunting, thinking that I'm gonna find one that I haven't seen before, and it breaks my heart every time because I haven't found one in so long. I'm just been like, oh man, I've seen all of these, and even some of the ones that are really shitty. I'm like, I've seen these too. Like,
right. I might have one that you haven't seen here. Have you seen State of Grace?
I have not.
State of Grace. It's got Sean Penn. So,
God,
what you think of Sean Penn there?
I don't care.
Yes, we got new drops. And speaking of Sean Penn, when I was a kid, I had blonde hair, and everyone called me Spicoli because I was a super stoner. And
totally awesome,
sweet bro.
That was my skull.
No shoes, no shirt, no dogs.
Well, we're on our time, bro.
With State of Grace there, Sean. Yeah, check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can still hear you. I'm just looking up this other thing because I literally just saw this thing today, which I had never seen before. And like as soon as you mentioned Sean Penn, I was like, oh man, I have to find this. It's Did you guys see this thing? It's totally off topic too, by the way, just because I'm the king of fucking tangents. And it's called Americans, and it's from Kid Rock and Sean Penn from like 2000, I don't know, like 2015 or something like that, or maybe even earlier than that. But it's like you have like red-blooded Americans, and you have like liberals, and like they kind of like become like best friends, but it's super gay.
It's called Americans.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll pull it up at a later point, but like at some like we'll talk about that one at another time for sure. I can definitely bring that one up because that's a crazy little movie. I don't know if it's a movie or what they pulled up. It's like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes long or something like that. But like it's just weird. It's really weird, and it's uncomfortable, very cringy. Worth a watch.
Well, it's Kid Rock and Sean Penn. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's why it's really weird. And the fact is that like they made that little like, I don't know, a PSA. Let's call it a PSA because it was all about like, hey, America's built on different opinions, and we should all be friends and get along together. And like it's like that kind of like lame after school special kind of vibe.
Right.
Today, that
and
would
then
never
Trump happened.
Yeah, but then Trump happened exactly because like they're talking about Obama being president at the time. So the fact is that clip would never have been created had Trump had happened a little bit earlier because, oh my God, would they hate each other.
Good Mark Ruffalo with like Ben Shapiro in one of those or something, like complete Bette Midler and Jesse Kelly or something. Jesse Kelly's not very well.
It's like celebrity deathmatch. Is that what we're setting up right now?
Dude.
It'll probably turn into that, yeah. So yeah. It'll have a good purpose. The intentions will be good. Hey, let's all come together, join together, let's buy the world a Coke, and then deathmatch.
Dude, I wish they would bring back Celebrity Deathmatch. I mean, they brought back Beavis and Butthead. Like, come on, do the other thing. Do the thing.
I don't know. I think there was something magical about how shitty it was, like how shitty the claymation was, and like the impressions and all that stuff. There was something magical about it that I don't know if they could really pull it off again without making it feel forced.
Yeah, true. And then of course it's going to be by MTV and like more liberal media. So obviously it's going to be like, Joe Biden, beating the shit out of Donald Trump, or you know what I mean? And then they're not going to show him shitting his pants, of course, because that wouldn't happen.
Well, they wouldn't be allowed to. They'd be taken off of Viacom. They would be nothing anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be sanitized for our politically correct protection, is what it is. Yeah, they're not going to be able to.
So no one gets upset. Because we can't have anybody get offended anymore. That's just like in the world that we live in now. No one can get upset, and we try to like shelter and like encase everyone in protective bubble wrap.
Yeah, it's going to take a collective fuck you to all those people that get offended there, and because basically once they realize they're not going to get an apology from anybody, they shut up, they stop. I mean, you notice that about guys like Adam Carolla. Yeah, he's like one of the more famous ones that. They've gone to him and said, I don't like what you said. You offended me. And Adam Carolla's like, fuck you. I don't care. I'm not apologizing. And they don't give him shit anymore because he spread that message that I'm not apologizing for anything.
Well,
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna add, for directors, like you have Quentin Tarantino, who takes he gets so much flack for like the dialogue that he puts in his movies and like the graphic like shoot ups and like just like the blood and the guts and everything. But the fact is that his like art form is so raw and real. Like I love Quentin Tarantino movies, and I love like even when he does like mob kind of ish things and stuff like that. But like his movies are always kind of like those slow burns and stuff like that, which like it's a lot of dialogue, it builds up, and like he just like pays a lot of attention to the conversation, and it's so good. And like people are like, oh my god, I can't believe you had them say that in this movie this many times. Like I don't care. Like it's a fucking movie. Get over it.
In I know it's not like the deep like Quentin Tarantino stuff, but one of the things that I remember from Tarantino movies is when I first saw From Dusk Till Dawn and Cheech Marin outside of the fucking strip club and the pussy speech. Holy shit, dude. Like we got wet pussy, we got dry. It's fucking so great.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Pussy.
who's the girl?
You don't want it.
I know that. Oh, that was like one of the best movies I remember as a kid too. Just like a great vampire movie, but like it doesn't even feel like a vampire movie until like obviously like halfway through it. Because before that, you're just like, oh, this is like a Quentin Tarantino shoot 'em up like bank robbery movie, and then all of a sudden like, oh wait, now there's vampires. Holy shit, this is fucking cool.
And then at the end, when it like zooms out and it's all that like Aztec, the
temple. Yep.
What the fuck?
My trucks and all that, and out back and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally never, I never watched it alone, in the Salma Hayek part. Never.
Oh,
nope,
yeah.
Never did that.
I was like, what's the name of that girl? Salma Hayek. Yeah. Oh my God. She's like the perfect woman, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you just like right here, just shape, then we're good. Just the uni.
Hey, you know what? I'll take it. I think like that little weird quirk about her that puts her above that 9. Probably makes her like that weird hot. So like
I might take Sofia Vergara over her. If we're going on that, like can't understand half, you know what I mean?
The voice kills it for me for Sofia Vergara. Now, obviously, yeah. Is that going to be a deal breaker for me? No, but if I have the luxury of choosing between her and Salma Hayek, man, what a world that would be, right?
Yeah,
what a world.
That's when you know that the good Lord is smiling down on you. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we should probably get back into mob movies.
I know. We're working on it. We're working our way back.
No, I don't know. I mean, this is the only shirt that I really had that I could,
I was actually going to bring up Scarface just a minute ago, so I'm glad that you mentioned that, or you had that to kind of like add to the conversation. Just because,
look at the pelicans fly! Come on, pelicans!
Oh, I mean, like talk about like just like the outrageous accent, like, hey man, like just constantly. Like I loved all of it. Hey man,
right.
He's a big, huge character of like Tony Montana. All that shit. But
first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. Yeah.
I'm a bad guy.
That was a terrible impression, but I wasn't even trying to do it. I wanted the words. I wanted the dialogue.
You need people like me. You need a bad guy like me.
Say hello to the bad guy.
Yeah. Well, he that speech that he did in the restaurant was probably the best one. Where like he gets the wine poured on him, and he's sitting there and he's just kind of like he's sulking at this point because he realizes that like he's got everything. He's like the guy literally had like the world at his fingertips. He could do anything. He's got like the hottest woman in Miami. He's got like all the freaking money you could ever want. He's got all the power and control over the politics and stuff like that. He's got everything you could possibly need, and like he's fucking miserable. Like
your womb is so polluted. I can't even have a baby with her.
Yes.
So I'm a little Hispanic, so it kind of comes out.
Yeah, well, I mean, most Hispanics typically love Scarface for that.
It's great. It's so great. It's like
lobsters. So yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to the time where you like kind of rooted for bad guys. Like they're like you can't really do that anymore because they don't really even make that great of bad guys anymore.
So here's a good question. are drug cartel movies also mob movies? Do we want to consider cartels and like the drug ring type things part of like mafia-esque world? Or are we just thinking like Italian?
It's like adjacent.
Yeah, I'd say
Because I mean, there's Italian and then there's Irish, like mobs. You know, you got the IRA, and then you have like your regular like the families and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know, what about like for things like Pablo Escobar? You know, for like Narcos. Is Narcos considered like a mafia-esque series? Because I mean, like, yeah, it's organized crime without a doubt, and they're smuggling drugs throughout like the United States from like Colombia, and like the guy had more money than I don't know, like anybody. He had a fucking island.
Yeah, it's like the Bill Gates of cocaine. You know, all that.
Sure,
money.
I'll go with that. I'll say that's accurate.
I mean, but that would be, you know, that would mean like Blow was also a fucking, you know, mob movie. You know what I mean?
Was it though? Was it? Can you argue that it wasn't?
I would.
Well, I'd say because it
wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say for the basis of having a big like organization, and probably would be able to go towards like legally would be able to go after it with RICO, the RICO statute or whatever. But just on basic, it's not the family. You know what I mean?
Okay, so we want to try and like let's set some ground rules then for like what makes like a mob movie. All right, so we have a hierarchy of power. So we need to have like a don or a boss or somebody, and then we need to have like the underboss, like consigliere and all them, and then like, you know, people, but like the underbosses, and then like the soldiers and the capos and soldiers. There needs to be a hierarchy of power that goes on where money goes up and shit comes down, and then we also need to have some type of like organized crime, whether it's like scams, like what like we talk about the Sopranos or like Goodfellas or like even the Godfather. They had set their hands in like all kinds of different stuff. Like there's tons of different like scams and cons going on throughout the cities and stuff like that they were running. So like, I don't know, you might not be able to say that like, you know, just doing drugs is enough to consider yourself like a mob movie.
It was like gambling, drugs, women, like all the, you know, and, you know, because the mob was doing, you know, prohibition stuff and, you know, and alcohol and stuff back in the day too. So, I mean, anything that's basically like a vice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. I mean, like the oldest crimes or the oldest industries, it's like, you know, bootlegging and then like prostitution. So like, you know, you have like
gambling.
Yeah, and gambling as well. So like, you know, there you go. Those are your big three right there for like what essentially is like the mob's bread and butter.
Yeah. I would say I would keep it simple for myself here. I mean, if it doesn't involve like an Italian family, then I don't personally consider it a mob movie. Now
you're gonna say that like The Departed wasn't a mob movie?
No. I mean, I'd say
it's a bunch of mix. You got a problem with mix?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I can't.
How could you say that?
I had to.
I say if you open up the category to like organized crime movies, then, you know, you would involve like The Departed, Narcos, stuff like that. But, you know, as far as like establishing like a pure mafia movie category, I think like an easy way to think about it is like, just, you know, is an Italian family. Like you were saying, Shawn, is there a Godfather, a boss, an underboss, capos, you know, soldiers, and all that? I mean, that's what I consider a mafia movie. So
okay. So let's dive a little further into this now. What about something like Sons of Anarchy, where there is like a tiered like hierarchy of power? But these are typically just kind of like white guys on motorcycles, and they run guns. They do like they had pornos. They did all kinds of different like avenues of revenue streams and stuff like that. You know, like, but like not related and also not Italian.
Be like that's adjacent. You know what I mean? Again, like it's mob movie adjacent or mob series adjacent.
I'd say organized crime. I mean, I mean that's the way I think. Any crime movie that doesn't involve like an Italian mafia family, I put that in the organized, like the larger organized crime category. And like the mafia movies are like a little subset of organized crime. So organized crime would be like cartel movies, mafia movies, you know?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I mean, I tend to agree.
No, you're all hurting my feelings right now.
No, because I mean, two things can be true at the same time. You can have
How dare you?
you can have a mafia movie category, but you can also have like a bigger chapter that all these sub-chapters fit within. Sub-chapters would be cartel.
Yeah, it's all mob movies. They're like that's the umbrella that we're all kind of looking at right here. And you're going, oh well, this is really like the cartel stuff. This is organized crime.
A mob movie? Does Pablo Escobar call us a mob?
No, it's cartel.
Does he have a consigliere? I mean, no.
Yeah, but why not? Why can't cartel just be Spanish for mafia?
Well, let's just see.
Look it up.
Cartel. Is that like? Would that be translation?
See, now we're groping it for strings right here. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's multiple things can be true. Yeah, you can have because like mob movies. I think mob movies are having its own subchapter. I think makes it even better. It makes it even more special, for lack of a better way of putting it. I mean, it's put in their own subchapter, and then it makes it easy to categorize. If that's
because I mean, if you're gonna say Sons of Anarchy is an amazing fucking show. Love that show, but
I don't consider that mafia though.
Well, shut up. But I'm saying to say if you are gonna put that in like a mob movie or a mob category, then Peaky Blinders could be in a fucking
absolutely,
which is a fucking awesome show. I haven't watched season 6 yet. About to fucking do that.
I gave up on it after like season 3. Like I just couldn't do it anymore.
I'm like Ian with Sopranos. I got to start watching Peaky Blinders. I hear there's like a bunch of guest stars in there that I need to check out.
Yeah, like I mean, like Peaky Blinders. When I was watching, like it was super interesting to me because I mean, like me being like Irish, I'm like I really want to like see like the whole like Irish like mob kind of thing like build and they develop into what it was going to be. But like
it wasn't Irish though. It was English.
I thought they had the Irish.
They had the IRA in there.
Yeah, I thought they were Irish though because like no, they weren't.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So I learned something then.
Yeah, it was the English. It was Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I really thought that they were in Ireland.
But then they also had, I think, Aidan Brody, who was an Italian mob character in that show. I don't know if I just spoiled any of it for you, but he's in that. He plays a fucking what?
You're blowing our minds.
No, he played a great part in that fucking show too. And then what's his Tom Hardy is awesome in that show. He's like a Jewish runs the like kind of a Jewish family, which is funny to see him be like British and Jewish at the same time. It's fucking hilarious, but
yeah,
I swear, like I don't know if it was like Cillian Murphy or whoever was it. When they were talking, like they had like an Irish accent or somebody had like a fucking Irish accent. I was listening to it, like, oh, is this like in Ireland or something like that? I guess I wasn't paying that close of attention to it. I should go back and rewatch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if on the British Isles it's so small. I would think that the English mob would be rubbing shoulders with the Irish mob. It'd be interacting. And
imagine
like the IRA and shit. Yeah. But no, it's great. And like where they're taking it now, because I think the 6th season is the last season before they start doing like TV movies and shit, which I think that's what the creator said they were going to do. But the 6th season, haven't watched it yet, but everything leading up to it looks fucking cool because it's like right before World War II and like all that shit. So it's obviously going to involve, the bad guys.
Yeah. And like the more I keep on thinking about this, I think I can get behind the idea of maybe like organized crime being like the big umbrella, like just like organized crime being the big umbrella, and then like because I'm trying to like really subdivide it and like all right, yeah, because like they're like if I think about Sons of Anarchy, yeah, there is some type of like tiered like system to that, but they're not really like a crime family. It's kind of like a motorcycle gang. Even though we're a club, we like to ride our bikes around California, but like so not quite the same. And then you have like Breaking Bad, which again, like kind of like cartel-esque, and like organized, but we're talking about like Mexicans and like Americans and like it's not quite the same. And like even like a Better Call Saul, which like I've been watching that and like man, like that this last season is just amazing. It's just so freaking good so far.
I need to correct you on something. It's Latinx. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I forgot the
Latinx.
Latinx.
Because Hispanic people love Latinx. They love it. Yeah, there's like about time. Now we can go on with our lives because someone created Latinx.
As the diversity hire of the stream, we don't like it.
Yeah, we couldn't do this without you, Ian.
See.
Yes. Yeah. You give this some intersectional credence or credibility.
Yeah, exactly. And I got the long hair too, so I mean that's kind of like the trans community, right?
Well, if you wore a dress on the stream, like no one would really know besides like up here, you know, like you just see up here.
How do you know this isn't a Scarface dress?
You're right. It could be like a big old like onesie, and like I think that would be pretty cool. You know, I think that's pretty sweet. You know, we have Ian over there in his Scarface onesie dress and long hair. You know, it's.
And I'm actually very offended by your flag in the background, sir. It's very triggering, and it's very white supremacist.
Yeah, there you go. These colors don't run, all right?
Don't tread on me.
You're kind around here.
Get to stepping.
Get out of here. I'll sit my pit bull on you. It would be even better, Ian, if you were in a wheelchair too, because then we could get like the disabled.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm a little R-worded, so you know.
And
I'm kind of retarded.
For the win.
Okay, so
you used to be Irene, but now you're Ian.
Iana. Just put the A on there. You know,
Beautiful.
Feminine.
Beautiful.
Well, I was gonna bring up the fact that like you know just recently we had a bunch of different like mob movie actors like pass away.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's kind of like sparked a whole like I don't know, maybe a new like the younger generation into watching some of these old shows and like movies and stuff like that, like The Sopranos. Like The Sopranos will never really die. Like for me, like, I probably watched that series like 6 or 7 times, like in completion, like episode like that. Besides like the years of it being on like AMC, which I was telling Ian about earlier, because he said I didn't have HBO and this and that. Well, I didn't have HBO as a kid either, but like at one point, the Sopranos were all on like AMC and it was on like during the day or something like that, and they would play like 2 or 3 episodes like back to back. So like I would watch that, but they had all the titties cut out and they had all the F words and stuff like that all cut out of it as well. So they turned into like just kind of like, hey, get the hell out of here, and it was be like, okay, hey, shut the front door. Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that back up because
I know you said you had something for that.
Okay, the having to do with that, not having to do with mob movies, but having to do with like the cutouts is like so you know you throw on TBS or you know whatever, they play a fucking movie here and there, and so one of them was from Big Lebowski, and it's when Walter says this is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, right? And that's a hilarious fucking line. And I was like, wait, I was like, okay, what are they gonna fucking do with this? And so they said, this is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps. And then the other best one was Snakes on a Plane. Don't ask me why I was watching Snakes on a Plane. Just go with it. So
it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Like Starship Troopers is a great movie. Okay.
Hey, I actually do like Starship Troopers.
Yeah, for the titties. Okay, so
what, the flapjack titties in the middle of the movie.
Not bad. The redhead, hot. But anyways, so yeah, I mean they made them look better because the arms were way back. No, but okay, so Snakes on a Plane. He says, I can't stand these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking airplane. Yeah, and so what they changed it to is I can't stand these, or I've had it with these miggity friggity snakes on this Monday to Friday airplane. Needless to say, I used miggity friggity for at least 2 years after that.
It's amazing what they do with some of that stuff. There's got to be like, have you ever been able to try and search and find some of these like TV edits for like like some of these movies that have tons of cursing in them. Like, you know, I'm sure there's been Goodfellas on TV before, and like what they would edit out Joe Pesci's lines for something. I'm sure, like Robert.
Yeah,
De Niro.
I'm sure they didn't let half a, you know, go. There were some things in there I was like, ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and like that's the thing. It's so raunchy and like raw for like just kind of like, and like the funny thing is like they don't show a lot of stuff either in that movie either, but like you're led to believe that they're doing all this like really heavy crime and stuff like that. It's pretty well done movie for sure. Like that one's Martin Scorsese, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Or was that Coppola?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's Martin Scorsese.
It was okay.
Yeah,
what's that?
Martin Scorsese. You talking about Goodfellas?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Martin Scorsese. Yeah.
And then it's funny in the group chat that we had going on. It is funny how you guys were saying that Joe Pesci's character in Goodfellas is pretty much the same fucking character that he plays in Casino, because it really is. He's like the kind of connected guy, and then he becomes connected. You know, then whatever. It's funny.
He's trying to compensate for for his height, so to speak. You know, it kind of seems like he's like trying to be like the most ferocious wild killer dog on the block. And
so like, well, what it was Nicky. His character was Nicky in Casino, and like what he was trying to do in that one was like he was trying to make his way up in like the connected like mob essentially, because he was the connected guy that got De Niro his chance to like run the casino in Vegas for the mob, because the mob didn't know how to like run the casino or like what was all involved in that, because like De Niro was essentially a professional gambler in the movie. So like they were like, oh, you would play the ponies constantly and always like end up winning. Why? Because he knew how to like plan for it and this and that. So they gave him the casino to go and run, and like that like Nicky just kind of like got a little too big for his britches when it came to like basically all like, everything, every aspect,
whatever the fuck you wanted.
Yeah, like really it got ridiculous, even to the point where like De Niro's like insane wife like was like banging Nicky then too, like it was just like it just got to be to the point where like it's gonna get fucking ugly really fast.
Casino, Goodfellas, and Scarface, all blonde crazy wives.
Yeah, like yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Because I was trying to think like with Goodfellas, like Karen had brown hair, but Karen wasn't crazy.
I meant the Godfather. Sorry, Diane Keaton or whatever. She was a little crazy.
Yeah, no, she was, but she was like a school teacher and this and that. Like she wasn't that insane, like I think she just got frustrated with the fact that like Michael had the family that took like priority over like her family with him, like it was like the business came first when it came to that.
She just happened to go off and get married, and left her, went to Sicily and got married to a whole totally different woman, so yeah, it would probably make you a little crazy, but. Yeah, Diane Keaton didn't really get crazy in Godfather until Godfather Part 2. At the end, where she said that, hey, I got an abortion. Because in the first Godfather, she was like this demure, gentle school teacher, that got scared when she saw Luca Brasi. Like, who's that scary looking guy? He's talking to himself over there. She was like, yeah, this petite little demure character. And then after a few years with Michael Corleone, Don Corleone. Then she started going crazy and nuts and whatnot, and what happened.
Absolutely.
Trying to get rid of
Sharon Stone was
you trying to get rid of
our other comments that we keep getting. I don't like what are you guys looking up that
I'm confused as to like what kind of hashtags we have under this thread in order to like get like all this spam.
I know. I need to look at that. Maybe I put something wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what you could have done, but like, something in there is obviously directing us towards like, hey, are you looking for Asian porn? Are you looking for a fun time tonight? Just call 1-800-GIRLS. We have 1-800-GIRLS for you tonight. You can get any ethnicity you are looking for. That's our new sponsor, 1-800-GIRLS. I forgot to tell you, Ian, I was doing some like marketing for us, and we got us got us a sponsor. It's an escort service.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it so much. So great. Yeah, I have the Mobster, Ray Liota. It's Ray Liota. That's what it is.
You think he's what's everyone's looking for when they order a hooker?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
We will find the right girl for you at 1-800-GIRLS.
This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
So, Ian, did you find like a mysterious USB drive like laying around? It kind of felt a little sticky, and then just plugged it in. And
well, I just can't help it. As soon as I find something like that, I have to put it into my computer and just hit upload. Whatever's on there, just like this feels safe.
Nothing could go wrong here.
So wait, you found the Hunter Biden's
thumb drive?
That's where you went wrong, sir.
That's the IP address all that spam is coming from. It's coming from hunters.
Yeah, true.
The files are inside the computer.
Okay, real quick, side note on that. There is something that, like, I've had a question. Like, do you think he fucking did that on purpose to get found? Because there's the one video where he's weighing out his crack, right?
Right.
Why did you need to use the front-facing camera at all? Like, you didn't need to have, like, if you didn't have your face in there, it's like, do you think they really could tell it was Hunter Biden's voice? No.
Man.
He did it because he was like, I want my dad to get caught.
I don't know, man. So, like, here's the thing. This guy goes around.
Pete, sorry.
This guy goes around filming himself doing everything. Like, even the most bullshit of things. Like, he's just standing in the middle of the snow, just with like the front-facing camera, going around, just going, "Oh yeah, just like so." It's very possible that his camera just automatically opened up to front-facing camera, and he just goes boom, because like, we have like the settings on our phone where you just hit like the camera thing, and it just from the lock screen you can just hit camera and just open it right up and go right to like videoing or like anything. It just boop. You can set those defaults for that.
He's an Instagram thought, basically.
Yes, he's thoughting it up, and so he's going, and he's kind of like, he's got his crack pipe in his mouth. He hits the front facing, so he hits the other way, and then just kind of brings it just to go, and like, I don't know why he needed to document how much he was weighing for like the crack and something, because the funny thing is like they couldn't read the numbers right still, like I think it was like 20 grams or something like that, and they kept on saying like it's like a 2 grams. 2 grams. Like, no, you're not reading it right. Like the decimal point's in the wrong spot.
Right. Ian might have been onto something right there, because I mean, like, maybe he's trying to come up with some incriminating, scene, some incriminating evidence to get rid of his old man.
Why though? Does he hate his dad? Do you really think he hates
his dad? In his phone, his dad's name is Pedo Peter.
That's it. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's classic.
Maybe.
Like, I hate my daddy. He won't give me that Lamborghini I want. So
he's like I fuck hookers. I fuck my dead brother's wife. Like, yeah, exactly. Like doing all these fucking things, and he's like, come on.
Yeah, he's probably so naive. He's probably like, he probably thought that's all it would take to get rid of his dad. He didn't realize like how much the American media excuses things that his dad or that Hunter would do. I mean, how much they love Joe Biden, because if Joe Biden was like, and I had an R behind his name, then weighing 20.7 ounces of crack, banging your brother's wife, and banging hookers all over the place, that would get a Republican president or a politician booted out. I mean, that's probably what Hunter was thinking. They're like, hey, this is all I got to do. Now Hunter's probably like, holy shit, what do I have to do? Like, what kind of video do I have to get?
He's literally Michael Corleone.
No, I'm gonna say, like, is Hunter Biden like the anti-hero? Is he like the hero that we don't want but we have? Like kind of like a Deadpool.
I swear to God, if you say he's Batman, I'm gonna be so pissed.
No, he's not Batman. Come on, he doesn't have that kind of technology. But like I'm saying, like it's similar to like Deadpool. Like, all right, he's a piece of shit, but at the same time, he's kind of maybe trying to do some good.
Yeah,
in a
but
weird way.
Yeah, but he doesn't know.
We're having some good revelations right now.
Yeah, exactly. Except for that last one.
Very
I'm kind of retarded.
No, I mean it's like just a couple of people have been like, dude, like they came after Trump Jr. so hard about, you know, all this. Is like, imagine if it was Trump Jr. doing all the things that Hunter Biden's doing.
Yeah, like even Eric Trump, they said he was at a restaurant or something like that. And they said, did he fill up his cup with like free pop from the fountain machine at this restaurant? Like, oh my God, tune in to CNN News at 11. You know what I mean? Like little shit like that. You know, they
went after Barron.
You know, some kids' ass about like little stuff like that. You know, but then yeah, Hunter can go. You know, snort a rail off a hooker's ass, and they're like, well, what? We didn't hear nothing. What?
And it's living the American dream. He's living the American dream, buddy.
Yeah, he can snort fucking Kraft Parmesan cheese, and everyone's like, you know.
Hey, who hasn't snorted Parmesan cheese? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Blitzer's like, who hasn't done that?
Yeah, who doesn't go to the pizza shop and just grab one of those little packets of Parmesan cheese, and they're all, you know what I mean? Like, who doesn't?
For a special live stream, Ian and I might do some lines of Parmesan cheese.
How dare you?
If we get enough viewers, that want us to do that, we will absolutely do lines of Parmesan cheese.
Kraft crack.
I will mysteriously get COVID. Okay, so maybe we should get back to
we're doing good. We're doing good.
Okay.
We're getting back to like all the mob stuff. We've been talking about it.
There is
really getting back there through like talking about snorting dairy products
and organized crime.
Well, I mean, like if you want to talk about organized crime, like the Bidens and the Clintons are the perfect example of a real life organized crime families. When it comes down to it, because like think about like the show like House of Cards. Like House of Cards.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah, House of Cards was 100% depicting the Clintons.
Yeah, absolutely. They do it like where they have the legal power, right? They rise up to the political ranks. They become power brokers. They get all this leverage over people, and they get to the point where they've got all the authority, even law enforcement at their fingertips, where they can't be touched whatsoever. I mean. The Cosa Nostra, the mafia had a shelf life, but politicians, man, their shelf life is forever. I mean, so they're doing it right. So but it's funny how many people are so naive. They're like, politicians are upright, they're honest people. They're just trying to do some good for their fellow man. No, they're not.
Dude, the only thing upright about politicians is Pelosi's fucking heavies, dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that the top was doing a lot of the work for them, but like still those things are impressive. I mean, like if I was like in my 80s and like she came up to me at a bar, I'd be like, let's go. It'd just be fun.
If China would have shot down her plane coming back from Taiwan, like they wouldn't have been able to find the plane, or probably not even a black box. But it'd be just, it would just be Pelosi's chesticles floating up above the water. That would be the only sign of the wreckage right there. That's how they'd spot it.
And just like four hands hanging on them, just like
as inflation devices, just kind of like hanging there. Help us! The pilot and the co-pilot is just kind of like hanging there.
Okay, do you think if after Titanic, if Pelosi was the door instead of the wooden door, if Jack could fit as well?
Yeah, I still think back to that as being like the laziest fucking relationship in the fucking world. Like where Rose literally like all shit. Come on, Jack, come on up here. They tried once, maybe 1.5 times to try and get him to go up there, and they didn't. I guess you have to freeze, and I will stay on this with the door or whatever. So like all she had to do, honestly, was like, all right. you hold on to this end. I'm gonna shift over while you pick up. Like, so just kind of like there's simultaneous motion happening to balance out the door, but that would have taken a man's brain to figure it out. Yeah. And like that
I was gonna say there's a couple things that you're not realizing about your statement. One is logic and reason. Also, two is you're married, so you understand how women take over the whole bed, and you have this sliver of the bed. So there's that.
He's doing this across the door. I can't move. It's gonna fall.
Yeah, exactly. And then
fall in the water.
What we're not taking into account is, wasn't this back in like the teens?
1918, I thought.
So wait, hold on. You're telling me that the dude wouldn't just push the woman off because everyone respected women so much back then.
No, listen, this is a liberal interpretation of what happened, where this guy is a total beta male cuck, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna put you on a pedestal, baby, and you're gonna take care of me for the rest of my life, which is the next 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna be dead. And then that's it. Like he didn't care. He just didn't care. Now some people are like, that's so chivalrous and this and that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. French girls, bitch, move over so I can.
Yeah, it's like
over. Yes.
Or you stay here. I'm gonna go find another fucking door, and then I'll just swim around, find another fucking door, and then bring it. Hey, check this out. We can both survive now.
It's a typical woman. She could have done so many things to help him not die, and then as he's dying and floating down, I'll never let go. Bitch, what the
fuck? I think he wanted to get on there, but she kept on saying, yeah, but there's just going to be this Celine Dion song a bunch of decades from now, and it's not going to mean as much if we get you up on the door. Like, there's like a bunch of dead bodies over there we could prop the door up on, and you could like sit up here comfortably, but Celine Dion's going to be so pissed, so we can't do it. Sorry. Obstacle.
He was just trying to let her off easy, but the only way that he could was fucking dying. It's not me, it's you.
I'm gonna be stuck with this bitch for the rest of my fucking life, unless I die.
Yeah, exactly. Right, he's like, well, I'm obviously not gonna get to America, and the only reason why I was hooking up with her was potentially, for money, the diamond and everything. But now I'm not getting to America, so peace.
He was a social climber. From, hey, do you want me to paint you like I painted those French girls? To she's been like, no, how about you paint me like that garage you need to go out there and clean the hell up after you pick the kids up from preschool?
What's wrong? Nothing. I'm fine.
Would have been fucking a mess, that's for sure. If they made it back to the States, it would have been bad. Paint me like your French girls. Oh, like this? Yeah.
There's a certain kind of paint that I use.
It's homemade.
Yeah. It's cream based.
They found us again. Ian.
Oh, they did.
The naked HDers.
Jesus Christ. God damn it.
It's this motion that did it.
Yeah, exactly. No, we were just talking about Pelosi's heavies. They're like naked HD.
Oh, yeah. Naked HD. 1-800-GIRLS. Right. Our sponsor.
Nancy Pelosi's massive Pelosi's are like, it's like a bug light, like sex spam websites and shit. Yeah. Like that. It's like,
did you hashtag like Pelosi's boobies or something like that? Like what happened?
Nope, not at all. I'm just gonna blame it on you movies because this hasn't happened until we got you in a live stream.
Yeah, all right, that's a really good point. I think movies must watch a lot of fucking porn.
It's a conspiracy.
If I gotta take a heat for bringing the sexy to this show, then I will take that blame all day long.
Hot like a tamale.
The wrong kind.
That big juicy booty.
I like a tamale.
That's what it is. It's my fault with the intro.
Look at those legs. You're gonna see some juicy booty.
Flame's gonna be coming out of your butthole.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I like how ALC said. ALC didn't say juicy booty. She said luscious ass.
Yeah, juicy ass.
Juicy ass.
Well, she heard what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny is like immediately after all that happened, like all the news places were showing pictures of AOC's ass and say like it's not that big. Like all of them were just like, no, it's kind of cute and small, but it's not a big juicy booty.
Yeah,
you know, like it
was a BBL.
So like all of this built into her, like now like everyone thinks she's got this big wide like Nicki Minaj like ass is like wiggling through, like just gotta go sideways through like the House Representative doors.
Nicki Minaj is all bitch.
Bitch, that's my thing. I got the big booty,
dog, baby. I got junk in the trunk. Oh yeah.
Cardi B's all.
You gotta check your pH levels because your pussy is fat.
Bitch, your ass is Rhode Island. My ass is Texas. All right.
Oh man, I can't believe this. She was on TV shows and like she did an interview with Biden, which I think got scrubbed from the fucking internet.
That's
Am I right?
Pandering right there. That was well, one of the ways you knew that he was pandering. Like, he hasn't heard one of her damn jams whatsoever.
Yeah, we love you, Cardi D. We think that you did a great job with your last music number that you did, right?
Yeah, we played on the record player.
Yeah. Man, I love it when a man loves a woman. That gets me every time.
You know the thing.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
It's like, there are some whores in this house.
Cardi Perry, I loved your hit single Roar. Oh, so awesome here. Come on, man.
You know the thing.
It's called
It's the truth.
You wow.
He always says that creepy whisper. And I got it done. And little girl, don't tell your parents.
Are there children present? Do we need to?
Well, no, you guys keep going. I'm gonna come right back. So you guys keep on chatting away.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. No, yeah, and by the way, I just have to say there's no way that that the non-mob movies, like the cartel movies, are mob movies. There's no way. There's absolutely no. I just gotta make it clear now.
They are not. Exactly. It's safe waters. We have to make that clear right now, because I think but I mean, even if you put them in the sub chapters, you still get to watch them.
Yeah.
It's not like we put Narcos in like a cartel sub chapter. That means, oh well, now I don't get to watch, I don't get to watch Blow. I don't get to watch Narcos anymore. Like, no, you still get to watch them. It's just hey.
No, I mean they're fucking great movies and great TV shows, but it's just like, it's like calling Disney Star Wars. It's not the same thing.
Right. Yeah. It's just, it makes it easier to make like a future YouTube show about, the greatest mob movies, the greatest cartel movies, the greatest, whatever, so greatest British mob movies, whatever. But yeah. Yeah. One thing that was really cool about watching The Godfather, like 1 and 2, or like the 2.5, I guess, that I watched, is it was kind of cool to see Al Pacino, because Al Pacino in the beginning of The Godfather is not Al Pacino that we know now. Like his attitude, his voice, everything was so different, but it was cool to see how it he was kind of molding into that Al Pacino that we know now. And it was cool to see there were a couple parts in there that really reminded me of Devil's Advocate, his role in Devil's Advocate, like some of his mannerisms, which that movie's fucking amazing.
You guys don't even know what I just walked into.
Yeah, that's an underrated movie right there. So yep, I like that movie. But like what at the end when he was like when he lashed out at Kay, is that one of the parts that reminded you of Devil's Advocate, where he's like enough or something like that, And
where he kind of
yelled at her.
Yeah, where he kind of yells at her, but there's even like kind of that, it's just that attitude, that kind of calm coolness that he had in Devil's Advocate. And I think it was the scene it was in the beginning of Godfather 2 where he's at the baptism where he's becoming the Godfather for his niece or nephew or whatever.
Yeah.
It was that whole scene because, you know, in Devil's Advocate, it's, you know, he's Satan. So like it was that whole kind of denouncing Satan and like saying all this thing. It was just kind of like, that's kind of funny.
Right. The irony of that. Yeah. Because I think like that whole part with like the massacre interlaced with the baptism, I think that's the first time, you know, in a prominent movie, we saw that kind of that montage kind of thing where you had, you know, seeing like a baptism of a child intercut with something that's completely on the opposite side of the spectrum, you know, people being murdered, right? In grotesque ways. And just that contrast, that conflict between that. I think that's one of the things that make Godfather great. And I think that's what makes it a classic.
Well, it was all to create an alibi, of course. You know, that's the main aspect of it, where it's like, oh, you can't connect Michael Corleone to those murders because, you know, where was he? Where was he the whole time?
Yeah.
So great. And there was the one thing that is cool about watching those old movies is how fucking horrible the death scenes are and the fight scenes. Like they're so bad but so good, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like when James Caan is beating up
Carlo,
their sister's boyfriend, there's a complete like miss of like of one of the punches. He misses by at least 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
So great.
And it was weird because like, yeah, he totally whipped on that, and it's so obvious to see. But then in real life, the actor that played Carlo, he didn't like James Caan, and James Caan didn't like him.
Yeah.
And so basically, Carlo, the actor who played Carlo, said that garbage can lid actually did hit him. I mean, it hurt him, you know, and that's for real. That's like some real pain, not full force and whatnot. But so that it's ironic like that, you know, the garbage can lid, that was real. But then, yeah, you get like this punch that misses by like 1 foot.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a WWE fucking garbage can lid either. Like that looked like it was a legit.
Covered in rotten lettuce, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunter Biden's Parmesan cheese.
Oh, good God.
Nasty.
So I'm back, but
yeah, what happened?
Oh my goodness. You don't even know. So like my daughter came down and she's like, "Hey, we're kind of hungry." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go and I'll get you guys some snacks or something like that."
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, like, you got to figure that shit out, kid. You know, like if you're going hungry, go make yourself some food. No, like she's 5, you know, like, so she's like, "Hey, we want a snack." Okay, sure. So I go upstairs. I'm like, "Hey, what do you guys want?" "Oh, we want some muffins." "All right, I'll get you some muffins or whatever." So I go and I do that, and I just take a glance at like the living room, because like right now, like my wife's out teaching like a yoga class or whatever, and it's all bendy stuff, you know, and so like I take a glance at the room and I'm like, oh my God. And they apparently had gotten into popcorn, and the popcorn was just like everywhere. Like it's like on the walls, it's on the couch, it's on the carpet, it's in all the nooks and crannies of everything. And for me, I'm like a texture guy, so like if I'm sitting on the couch and like I put my hand down something, it feels gritty. And now I can't tell you how much I fucking hate sandboxes. I hate sandboxes. I hate fucking sand in general. I think it's the fucking worst thing that's ever been invented. I hate the idea of bringing the beach home. I think it's stupid, and I don't like the beach to begin with. So, oh God, it just pisses me off just thinking about it. So like, but if I touch something and it feels gritty, I'm like, this is dirty. Clean this. Like, so I have to go and I have to like scrub it, or I have to like vacuum it or something like that. And I saw like my seat on the couch, like it's like it's got my indents and everything in there. Yeah, my seat, covered in popcorn kernels and like, you know, flakes and stuff like that, where it's like in every little nook and cranny of the couch. I'm like, oh no. Like, so after we're done here, I'm gonna end up having to go and like do some serious like housekeeping and cleaning, and I'm like, oh, it just breaks my fucking heart. But at the same time, You know, it's the kids are babysitting themselves right now, just watching some eating popcorn, eating some muffins, and watching some Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
Yeah, that's parenting for you. That's parenting in 2022.
Are you triggered right now by popcorn?
Oh, I hate popcorn.
You don't like popcorn at all?
Yeah, no, I think corn pop and popcorn and all that shit is fucking garbage.
Well, he was a bad dude.
He was a bad dude.
Yeah.
Corn pop was a bad dude. Let me tell you. Or did you guys hear this? Like other like
you triggered right now?
Oh no! I need to leave the stream.
You did it now.
I have to leave.
I was like, oh my god, I got him off. That's all I gotta do. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, whoa.
How dare you?
Oh, how could you say that?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You didn't half-ass it. You went butter too, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, all right. So, like, here's the thing. Like, if I will go years without ever eating any popcorn. Years, I won't do it. And I'll go to the movies, and like my wife loves popcorn, so I'll get her like a large or something like that. And then like I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm curious again. Let me just grab a couple of pieces. But hey, this tastes pretty good. So I'll just start eating it a few pieces, and then I get like the one that's stuck on the back of like my esophagus, like, and I can't get it with my tongue unless I swallow my tongue to be able to get it down. I'm like, so it's the worst fucking feeling ever. I'm like, now I remember why I fucking hate popcorn. It's the little fucking the skin of the kernels that get stuck in like the worst parts of your mouth, and it's just the worst snack ever. It really is.
Like caramel corn, or that, like, you know, like some sort of
caramel corn. You probably have maybe like a I don't know, a 7 out of 10 chance of it being a good piece. Yeah, you know, but like you still run the risk. Like you're playing Russian roulette every time you pick up a hand of popcorn. And so like with buttered popcorn, I feel like you got a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No seed guarantee.
Yeah.
Same way. I can't stand that, you know, where you got like, these little grenades that you bite into, you know, I mean, while you're like, so that's one of the reasons I don't like like, oh, I'm enjoying this. This is so good.
Exactly. Well, you know what I never understood? I never understood the people who put milk duds in with their popcorn. You see that shit? And like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're like, oh, this is a hard piece right here in my mouth. Like,
it's like, are you just trying to just fuck up your senses? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's like you get all these like soft like soft like buttered popcorn pieces. All of a sudden, you get like one like milk dud. Ow, fuck!
It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm not into any of that type of shit, dude. And like, I popcorn.
Offended.
Yeah, well, popcorn's like the one snack that like really pisses me off, and also the fact is like if you just go like this, like you spill it once, like it's. You can't get rid of it. It's constantly in like it's in every little nook and cranny of everything. So now like my couch is ruined. I'm just gonna burn it, and
because you don't want to get popcorn in your butthole.
That's right. Don't want to get any popcorn in my butthole.
I don't know what's better is like the fact that he's talking about monkeypox and the fact that he's talking about like all you gays and, you know, F words and whatever, you know, gonna flame in your butthole, or just the fact of how he says butthole, like
butthole. But that's the trigger right there is how he says it.
Here comes the sex links.
Try to relax your anus.
Yeah, the sex links are going to come back now. Were you talking about Naked HD? Naked HD XYZ. New AI will find a girl for you.
84% have already found love with us.
Yes. Someone said monkeypox, so now we're going to got Curious George XXX or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, like those monkeypox like images of like people who are like dealing with monkeypox or just recently got it, and the outbreak in San Francisco are ridiculous. Like where it's
there's
like,
nothing weird or awkward about it being New York and San Francisco.
Well, it's like, you know, it's somebody's palm and their mouth, or it's somebody's entire face,
or their butthole,
or it's their entire body, or yeah, exactly,
Right.
or it's their
Why
butt.
is it never their elbow? Back of their foot, you know, like
Yeah, exactly. It's not in a place that doesn't have dicks near it.
Yeah.
yeah. If I ever saw it like in the back of their foot, like what kind of kinky shit are you guys doing? Like
That's some OnlyFans shit. What's going on?
yeah, that's like the next level, like gayness right there, man.
The best ones to me are the ones where it's like the guy holding up his hand and you see his mouth is all covered in it and his hand is all covered in it. It's like, man, you're just advertising like what you're doing. Like,
Yeah,
that's all it is.
It's like the dude like coming home at night at midnight after he comes home from like going down on a stripper, and he's got like stripper
Glitter. He's got glitter all over his
just around his mouth. You know, the lights are all off in the house. He walks in his dark bedroom, and his wife's like, "Hi, honey." Like,
Yeah, you guys said glitter, and I was about to be like herpes. I mean, sorry, oops.
All right, no. So funny story, and again, Ian, I'm telling you, we need a little bumper that's like for story time because and I'm telling you, it's gonna be fucking golden if you get the little bumper, so I can like go into little stories like this. For my bachelor party, there was like 10 or 12 of us, like dudes, like all from like work and this and that. We were spending like the weekend in Philly or something like that, and we went to this like, so it was pretty great. Where like we started off at like a cigar bar, and the cigar bar, like, man, that totally just lubricated the entire evening because it was like
We're
first
gonna
off,
get more text
Godfathers.
comments.
So it was Godfathers, where if you've never had one, it's whiskey with amaretto. So it's like half and half. And man, let me tell you, it is an amazing beverage. Like that is one of my favorites. If you ever get a chance, go to a bar, ask for a Godfather. If they don't know what it is, call them retarded, and then tell them it is scotch or whiskey with amaretto. You know, you can do whatever you want, like for like the whiskey part of it and stuff like that. Typically, I would go cheap and go Dewar's with amaretto. Perfect. You know, because like you're not really going to taste it anyway. It's a perfectly mixed drink. So you do that. We were having those cigars, and then they have like these women walking around, these little tiny black dresses. Some of them, man, this evening's going to be great. And then we went to like a Brazilian steakhouse. After the Brazilian steakhouse, we go back to the hotel, get changed, and we're out to the strip club. We go to the strip club. Story time. Nice. That was quick. Yeah, I appreciate that. So like, but like we go to the strip club, it's all good. We're all having a good time. 2:00 rolls around. It's time to go back to the hotel. We all start heading back, and we go into the cabs, and we're like, all right, that was a good time. We had a wild fun, this and that. We get into the hotel lobby, and like because some of us had stopped and bought like more booze or this or that. We all meet up in the hotel lobby, and we're like, hey, what's wrong with your shirt, dude? And the other guy's like, what's wrong with yours? And like all of us just started looking at each other, and we were covered in like this dirt, and like we're like, what the fuck? Like everything's brown. And like so then we go back up into like the hotel rooms. We're all like kind of like hanging out there. We're like, oh my god, do you know what this is? This is like a makeup foundation that like they put over their entire fucking bodies to like bronze themselves instead of like actually tanning, or like I don't know, like I guess they cover themselves in all this makeup to try and like hide all the weird imperfections of their bodies. But like, oh my god, every single person was covered like head to toe in like brown foundation on their pants, on their and a bunch of us wore white button downs, which was a terrible decision. And I learned that lesson. This is a lesson you can take away from this story: never wear a white button down to a strip club, ever.
I'm going camo.
Yeah, camo would be a great choice because you're not going to be able to tell. Or
no,
brown.
They can't see you coming.
Yeah, exactly. But you're either going to a
Hi-yo.
dating Grenada.
What, you ignorant slut?
I'm just saying that, like, you know, there are lessons you learn in life, and that was one of them for me. Where like we are all wearing like these white button downs. We came out covered in mud, essentially what it looked like, and it was absolutely disgusting. But that was one of my little strip club stories. Story time.
When you said he had brown, I thought you were going, hey, that was the name of the strip club, right? Story time.
I honestly don't remember what the name of it was, but there was one really cool moment in the whole thing where one of the girls climbed through the rafters, apparently, but when we weren't looking. Yeah, it was like in the dark. She's climbing through the rafters.
Bitch
She
is
sits on
Spider-Man.
and then all of a sudden they drop this like motorcycle on like a cables, like revved. It was like, and it drops it on the stage while she's riding it. She's like, woo!
And then they played Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue, right?
I'm sure that's a go-to. That's a go-to for
girls. This got the motorcycle at the beginning, yeah.
No, I would hope it would be like the Beastie Boys girls. To do the laundry, clean the bathroom.
Now we're gonna get a copyright strike. Thanks, dude.
Well, no, come on. I'm totally off key. Totally off key with that one. There's no way they're gonna get it.
That sounds like Cirque du Soleil, man. Motorcycles coming down from the ceiling and shit, man.
Oh no, there's that one meme.
I don't know if it was.
There's that one meme where I think it's like Baby Yoda or whatever, and it says when you're at the strip club and you see the stripper like hanging upside down on the stripper pole, and you're like, "Dang, bitch, be careful. We just took like 4 shots." Like, what are you doing? Just be careful. What are you doing up there?
You know, and like I know we're totally taking this massive tangent off of like mob movies, but like I've never watched like The Mandalorian or anything like that, which I know is like probably blasphemous to you, Ian.
How dare you?
I knew that was coming, and like I knew it was gonna be blasphemous to you that I had not watched it yet. Like I keep on mentioning it to my wife, like, hey, you know what? A lot of people say we should watch The Mandalorian, but like I'm just not into Star Wars. And then she's like,
we should watch The Mandalorian. All the best people.
And then she's just like, I don't really care about Star Wars either. I'm like, I'm glad we have that in common.
Well, we were gonna have you two on our podcast, but not happening. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, here's the thing: like when it came to the original trilogy, fucking amazing. When it came to like the remakes, meh. And then like when I watched like episode 7, when they did that like the Ren and the Kylo guy and all that stuff, and meh, yeah,
it could have been cool. It could have been like
they had like a Kenan Thompson as like a stormtrooper. Like I just wasn't into any of it.
No, and I mean they could have done a lot of cool things with Finn's character, and they could have done a lot of cool things with the storyline that they had put up. But then, you know,
I like orange soda. I do.
No, I mean, there's a lot of cool things they could have done with it, but you know, it goes back to the same thing. They take the original like IP and original shit, and then they don't watch the source material. They don't care about the actual fans that have. And God, I sound like a fucking nerd, but they don't care about like the original.
Own it, Ian.
They don't care about like again, like, you know, the New Saints in New York, or, you know, any of that stuff. If they took Goodfellas and they did a, you know, story about Ray Liotta's character, you know, like in between when he was young, you know, any of that, like, yeah, they would ruin it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like even when I was talking about you know, like a Goodfellas miniseries. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to propose that stuff right now because it's easy for me to go, oh well, they just need to get the right people to make it. Like that's an easy thing, right? Like there's just like Hollywood is crawling around with the right people to make something.
They're all so like ancient at this point. The right people are so old that like the last big movie that they did was the Irishman, like, and that was like a Netflix thing, and that one was not good for like 3 hours long of like a Martin Scorsese type thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, and then you have Robert De Niro, who's old as fucking tits, and he's sitting there and he's like trying to stomp on that dude. I died laughing. It took me out of the movie. I'm like, he's not stomping. Like he's literally
CGI.
Like,
they CGI their faces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like he was more scared of him breaking than the guy breaking.
Yeah, like, well, they CGI their faces, like Pesci and all them, to make them look younger, like because they were going back and forth in like the time frames. I'm like,
yeah, and it was
man,
terrible.
this is not good. This is not good at all. Like and I like the fact that they had Pesci and De Niro, and they had was it like, I don't think Ray Liotta was in that one, but they had Raymond. They had Raymond in there. There was a few other like mob guys that were like all like kind of like like bigger names and whatnot. Who was it? Movies?
Harvey Keitel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like and of course, Pacino. Pacino was in it. He was
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Hoffa, of course, of all things. So and like that was one. Like I think there was also like a Jimmy Hoffa like movie as well. I can't remember which one it was, but
Jack Nicholson was in that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was another one where like I think I'm trying to think back to some of like the history and stuff like that, because like with the Teamsters were like a separate union from like what my parent like my grandfather was in. I think my grandfather may have started as a Teamster and then moved over to like Local 11 with like the iron workers and this and that part of like construction. But like one of the things I wanted to bring up when we were talking about all these mob-esque things is that, like, you know, a lot of these elements of like crime don't really exist anymore today. Like everything's so corporate. You know, everything's like chains and this and that, which pretty much shut down the little guy, which was the mob. The mob was the little guy who ran towns, right. You know, and but I think personally I've encountered other aspects of the mob just in like my regular kind of day to day and stuff like that. So for example, I work in like telecom and stuff like that. It's like kind of like telecom engineering and stuff like that. It's kind of like my day gig and stuff like that. So when I'm doing that, I get on these calls sometimes with like energy companies, electric companies, utility like firms where like, you know, I'm dealing with like an entire state, like where like they handle all of this or some of that. So these people essentially are like the mob when it comes to certain aspects of business and stuff like that, which is exactly what the mafia used to do. So for me, it's like I was on a call recently. It was like a T-Mobile type related like exchange where we're talking about a bunch of sites that were all on transmission towers, and transmission towers are the ones that carry the electric cables that go through like the towns and stuff like that. So you're on a call and you need to get like some like structural analysis completed, like in order to be able to tell like, can this tower support the new equipment type deal? And these people are saying like, well, I'll tell you what, you can send us all this information, we'll run it, but we can't guarantee any of it's going to pass or nothing like that. Like it's going to take us like a month to get through it. And then like, if it doesn't go through, you know, well, you'll have to resubmit, you'll do it again. And I was like, okay, well, you know, what do you need in order for me to make sure that this gets through the first time? Because, you know, every time you go and you submit something like that, you got to pay for it. You got to pay money in order to get this shit done. So they're like, oh, well, I don't know, just send me whatever you got. And like, oh, okay, sure. So like you send them sub stuff, fails. Oh, and then they tell you like, oh, well, next time, make sure you include this and this and this. And
you could have fucking told me that first, asshole.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point, because they don't expect to charge you once. They expect to charge you twice at the minimum. They if you don't follow instructions, they're going to charge you a third time. You know, so like, and this is how the mob would make their fucking money. You know, it's like, it's all about how you scam somebody into paying more for a service that should have only have costed X amount of dollars.
Right. Yeah.
So like there's these elements of like today's world, like, and also like, you know, Ian and I being musicians and stuff like that, you know, like working with venues are all like ex-criminals and cons that like own like these like restaurants and like music venues and stuff like that. Like none of them are legitimate business people. They're all like kind of like skeevy and sketchy and this and that. So like all of them have like this like criminal past to them. So they lie to you. They tell you whatever they want to tell you. Then you go and you perform your service thinking you're going to get reciprocated like equally, and you don't, and you're shocked by that. But at the same time, it's like, oh wait, they're fucking criminals. That's right, I forgot. You know, so
but,
like that,
you know, now the organized crime is just, you know, all the, you know, the 3-letter agencies. It's just FBI, DEA, ATF, CIA, NSA. All that's what it is, because they learned all of the fucking tactics from all the people that they. I mean, I'm just kidding, YouTube. That isn't a real thing. I don't really think that.
Don't know.
I just wanted there to be really awkward silence after that.
Well, I'm just
I read
pointing out the fact that.
What'd you say?
Go ahead, movies.
Ian and everything he says.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just pointing out the fact that, like, literally the world has developed into this new thing, and like, the mob didn't go away. It's just reinvented itself to be able to hide better. You know, to where, like, it's not just right out in the open with like underground casinos and like speakeasies and this and that. Like, no, like, that's not a thing anymore. Like, yeah, they own bars, but to, like, you know, launder money and like.
And it's funny now that speakeasies are like cool now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they
but that's
used
a
to be the only
legitimate
way you
thing.
could drink, and now they're like, oh, did you hear about this speakeasy?
There's a secret door in the bookcase over there. Yeah. Go get a secret password.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the whole point I'm trying to make, where it's like now they can like just do these legitimate businesses to like wash money or anything like that, where they're doing like, you know, they can scam you legitimately. They don't have to do like something real sketchy where like, all right, we'll go and we'll protect your business and this and that, and like, you know, if anything happens, you know, then you just keep paying us every month or something.
Okay,
Like that.
I just want to address that you keep using the word sketchy, and I'm sketchy Jesus, and I don't like how you're very triggering with your labeling of how sketchy is negative. Okay,
I don't care.
Yeah.
We landed on the moon.
Sketchy can be a negative.
see, the way I always explained it is sketchy is like still fun. It's like, you know, it's sketchy, but it's still fun. Shady, nope.
Okay,
Shady
all right,
is
fair
not.
enough. All right, maybe I should be using different terminology just so
Please
I don't
do.
trigger you as much.
Please do.
Go to your voice and you use the word sketchy, boy.
What are you doing here, city boy?
You don't cotton your taps.
Oh, speaking of, you are in Texas, right? I'm not going to say the city because again, don't want to dox you. So, but you're in Texas, right?
I'm in Texas. Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I lived in Austin for about 7 or 8 years. It's a liberal hellhole, I know, but
right.
it was cool to be in Texas though, to see like the whole Southern hospitality kind of thing.
Yeah. It's, you know, yeah, Austin, I like going down there because, yeah, you're right. It's San Francisco South, but they know how to party down there. They know how to have a good time. You know, they got like just cool shit to just check out. Great people watching, you know. I mean, if you ever want to just, you know, chew on a cheeseburger with, you know, donuts, you know, as the buns while watching a guy with a bone through his nose.
Yeah, it was.
Don't tease me like that.
It was really, really cool because, you know, 6th Street, they shut the street down Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so you can, like, it's not like Vegas where you can take your drinks out on the street, but you can still be drunk as hell, walk in the middle of the street, and you see some shit.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. It's like, just like a debaucherous, if that's a word, kind of amusement park down there, you know. I mean, yeah, it's just lewdness and just, it's like, yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah, like right in the middle of Texas, you know. I mean,
that's a hell of a way of putting it.
Oh yeah. You see some, and it's kind of cool because you see a lot of cool people down there, like, because they turned I need to explain why that is in a second. No, but they like Austin has kind of like a movie like vibe also. They shoot a lot of movies down there and whatever, and they shot that Whiplash movie with Drew Barrymore and Elliot Page. But yeah, and then and actually, funny story, they shot Machete Kills down there. You know, the second Machete, and I am in that for for a hot second. I was an extra. I waited in line in the fucking like Austin August heat for like 3 hours. And once I got in the building and was like filling out the paperwork, they like saw me and they were like, no, we need him like a part of this. Like, it's sketchy. And so they just took like super East 6th Street and turned it into like a barrio, you know, like they had like the trash cans on fire and like whatever. And I don't know. Have you guys seen Machete Kills? The second one?
I'm about to watch it tonight.
Okay. So the scene where he's jumping out of a helicopter and he's parachuting down and he gets caught. right after that, and he has to like let himself out of the tree and then like walk, like do his like Danny Trejo like walk. I'm in the background of that scene. I'm in a white t-shirt. You don't see my face, which kind of sucks, but you see my tattoos and my long hair, and I'm in a white shirt, and literally my role was a junkie. I was fighting. I was like trying to fight with like another junkie chick for a crack pipe. And that was my role in the back. And I called my mother immediately, was like, Mom, I made it. No, but Danny Trejo was one of the coolest dudes ever. He's short as fuck, which I'm sure everyone has figured out by now. But he like in
Most
between
of
takes.
Hollywood is weird enough, right?
I
Like,
know.
Yeah.
It's so strange because like I've met people and I was like, wow, I can't believe how short you are. And I don't know, maybe there's like they're heightists or something like that. If you're over like 5'7", like you're never gonna make it.
Yeah, exactly. No, he was a really cool dude. Like in between takes, like he'd like come up and talk to the extras and whatever, and he was like very personable. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I, you know, when I went to go shoot it, we had to be there like 4:30 in the morning, and then we were waiting around for like a couple hours, and then you get to shoot whatever scene comes up. And so I was sitting there, and I was a super stoner, hadn't really smoked, because I'm not gonna just smoke weed like around all these like Hollywood people. I probably would have gotten away with it. But, yeah, exactly. And and a 4-foot golden glove. And so like in between takes, he would like try and talk to us and and whatnot. And he's like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And I was like, "Be better if I was really fucking high right now." And he was like, "Me too, buddy. Me too." I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah, he's really friendly, man, because I've seen him interviewed like on Adam Carolla, and he's just like, he's the complete opposite of what, say Machete or Desperado was like the only Danny Trejo movie you ever saw. You would never think that Danny Trejo's personality that he has in real life is, the character that you see in the movies. But yeah, he's so jovial and engaging, and he's just kind of like, he's kind of like a tough guy nerd in a way. I mean it in the nicest possible way, because he's just, he basically wants to hear everything that you have to say. He wants to hear about your day. He wants to hear about your life.
Well, yeah, and we were kind of talking about that before, how like all these dudes are like thespians. You know what I mean? Like all these actors that we think are big badasses and whatever. It's like, dude, they're just fucking nerdy theater kids that know how to play like a hard ass. You know what I mean?
With Trejo, like he actually was like a hard ass before, like where he was a criminal, and like he was like part of like, I don't know if he was necessarily cartel, but like he was definitely somebody that was like cartel adjacent. And he did some time and whatnot, and I think that always kind of adds to the character of like the person, and like when they really can appreciate where they came from and where they are now. Because if you think about exactly, he was a prisoner before he was an actor, so he totally knew the role before he ever like became an actor. And like then on top of that, it goes back to even like people with like Tony Sirico, I think his last name, like Paulie Walnuts, where like when he just passed recently, he was another one like where he was like mob adjacent, did some time and whatnot, and like it was that guy. He got in with all of those movies. He had that look. He had the personality. I think there was something recently where like he kept his hands in front of him because he was like holding on to like little like cue cards or some shit, like to like learn his lines or some shit like that. Like I don't know, he just wasn't.
It's kind of like Joey Diaz too, the comedian Joey Diaz. Like he was in, I think he was in Sopranos. He was in, he played like an Italian mobster looking guy in the first Spider-Man, or one of the first 1 or 2 Spider-Man movies, where he's like on the subway, and there's that guy who's I think it was the Green Goblin, and he was like trying to fight Peter Parker, and he says, "If you got a problem with me, you got to go through us," like whatever. And dude, Joey Diaz might be one of the funniest humans ever to have lived.
It's pretty great. But I do have a clip pulled up for in memory of Tony Sirico. So I figure we might want to share that one, just so we
potentially, yes.
Yeah. Potentially? What do you mean potentially?
Well, is it anything that we're gonna get copywritten for? Because then we have to like cut out the fucking shit.
I don't know. It's on YouTube. I don't know. Like, it can't be that bad. Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying we got caught for the song on the Gummy Bear video that you fucking played.
That was a song. That was a song, dude. Like, all right, so like, we've gone in like an hour and 50 minutes at this point. We can share a clip.
Potentially.
YouTube is militant, man. They are a bunch of asses.
Exactly, dude. That's why I'm saying maybe even wait after. Now, I would wait.
Oh my goodness! Come on, let's just do it.
I would wait after 2 hours because that's the mark that I was telling you. After 2 hours is when they do the.
You're breaking my fucking heart here.
Hey, you're used to Patreon world.
Yeah, I am, because I can do fun things over there.
See what YouTube's doing? It's turning everybody against each other, man. That's why it's Satan.
You're tearing this live stream apart, Ian. You're gonna break up the whole family before we even get any further. And your mic cut out because they were saying, "Oh, you're full of shit." That's why they cut you out.
You're like a big bowl of popcorn. You're evil.
Yeah.
You're like a Colonel Orville Redenbacher up your ass. It's the worst situation. I didn't know about the copyright stuff until I started watching like some other shows, you know.
Oh yeah, the copyrights on YouTube are insane, man. Because like every little possible thing that you could possibly upload. Like I remember at one point when this same song that we used for like the countdown type thing, like for like the 3-minute countdown, I used that for. Or actually, no, I used like one of my other songs. It was like part of like one of the records up here. One of those. There was a song that I used for like the warm up screen, and when I used that. They said, "Oh, you can't use that song. It's copyrighted." I'm like, "Bitch, it's my fucking song." Right. Like, look at where the name is. The name says Shawn Cav.
Yeah. Exactly.
and then they, "Oh, okay, we revoke our objection. Continue."
Yeah. In that case, does YouTube like lodge a complaint themselves, or I mean, don't they have to wait for the artist to come forward and go, "Hey, I heard this was being played on YouTube."
I think what it is I think it's the distribution companies, because even the stuff that I've put up myself of my own like individual project where I literally recorded every fucking piece of the music, I put it up. And I put it up, and they even like had a little complaint. I can still hear you. Yeah, I was like, I can still hear y'all fuckers. No, but like they even like had a complaint up, and I had to go in through like CD Baby, which is like the.
Oh, and his mic cut out yet again. Oh, that's embarrassing, buddy. That's Hey, you know what? We're getting really close to that 2-hour mark, and I really can't wait to share this clip because you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe we waited and we built all this time up for a clip that Shawn wanted to share really quick because he was talking about Tony Sirico, but now it's like this big buildup. We have this massive buildup for 8 minutes yet before I can actually play a clip. And your mic's muted, by the way, too. I don't know if that makes a difference for you, but you're trying here. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Ian. You're doing a really great job over there. I think everything you've been doing has been really great, but your mic's muted. And if you want to join in the conversation, you're going to have to unmute that eventually.
I think he doesn't think that
he's miming at us. He's miming. He's just like,
yeah. He just got the look.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right. Well, until then, I could probably just kick him off until he fixes his mic. Bye-bye. And we can kind of keep going because there's plenty of others like movies that we could have been talking about this whole time. And unfortunately, we've kind of only stuck to like just a few just because of the thumbnail and whatever. But I really feel that like if I had to like go through and think about any of the other movies that really kind of like I don't know, made an impact on me. Like I think Ian would even agree with me that like American Gangster was one of like the best mob movies ever created. That really kind of like I don't know, sucked you in. Like it was one of those ones where it was like almost 3 hours long, but still amazing from beginning to end.
Yeah, dude, that movie was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Because I mean, it's epic. Yeah, it's epic. I mean, because it's I mean, you got big name players, big name actors in it: Denzel Washington, Russell Crowe, and you've got like a great screenwriter, Steve Zalian. He wrote Schindler's List. So it goes from Schindler's List to like Frank Lucas and, you know, organized crime. And I think like the really intriguing thing about American Gangster was like just how Frank Lucas had that ingenious idea of like going straight to the source. You know, he went to Vietnam or Cambodia or wherever it was.
Yep.
And he got it straight from the source, you know, so he could make blue magic. And I thought that was like, that's a great story. I mean, I think it's a true story. I think that's what he actually did. Maybe not, but it just made Frank Lucas's character, you know, that much more intriguing. Because like, man, this guy, he's got balls, but he's also got brains, you know. And
I'm sure there was an elaboration on the story as to like, what had happened in real life, but like, yeah, you're absolutely right. We're like, you know, it took a lot of balls to go and do something like that. He took advantage of the fact that we were overseas and our main focus was the war and whatnot. So then like he could actually focus on like trying to build his drug empire. And, you know, like bringing in his cousins and like having all the different like shell companies and this and that. Like but the best thing he ever did was try to instill the idea of keeping a low profile into like everybody who worked for him, because like that's the way he was taught. He was taught to like keep a low profile, don't like stir the pot at all, just kind of like do your business and do it quietly. You know,
it was like an extension of at the end of or towards the end of Goodfellas, when Robert De Niro kept getting fucking pissed off because everyone was buying a pink Cadillac and a fucking fur coat and all this shit.
Take it back. Take it back. What are you, stupid? What are you, stupid or something? What did I say? What did I say? Yeah. It's just like that. And leave it to a woman to ruin it for Frank Lucas because she goes out and buys that fur coat so he can wear it out, you know, at the boxing.
Well, it was pride. It was a matter of, it was pride as well, because like he felt bad that he didn't want to upset her because like, you know, he cared about her, but he should have known better to be like, all right, this isn't for me. I can't do this, you know, but instead he did it anyway. And I think he did it out of pride where he was like, hey, all my cousins get to wear all the flashy shit. Why the fuck can't I wear something flashy? He wears it one fucking night and it's the downfall of his entire fucking career.
Yeah, it's the one that Uncle Crow's out there taking pictures.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to say, you know, pride is a bad thing, you know, nowadays. But
well, it's not June anymore, right?
I think someone said before, pride is always.
Pride's all year. It doesn't matter what month it is, guys. Always be prideful.
Pride's in our hearts. That's where it's at.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, American Gangster, yeah, it's like because they had that character Cuba Gooding Jr. played Nicky, I forget, Nicky Barnes or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
he was like the Don King of organized crime figures. You know, he was the one that he basically took all the heat from the cops because he was the loudest, brashest guy. And then Frank Lucas even said to one of his cousins, like, "What do you want to be like that chump right there? Like, you're gonna dress like him? Like, they're gonna shake you down. Everybody knows who you are. You got to keep it subdued." And then Frank Lucas makes that same mistake one time, like you said. And
yeah, it was cool to see how he was pretty smart about the way he ran his shit. Like he even like, you know, had all the girls that were working in the place, like cutting the drugs or whatever. They were all naked, so they couldn't hide shit.
Right.
Well, I mean, they had a couple hiding spots, but you know, you'd probably be able to see them trying to stuff.
Hopefully.
That's where New Jack City got that, you know, the drug, you know, women are like out there with their titties hanging out, you know, processing the drugs. So I was wondering where they got that from. It's like American Gangster, Frank Lucas.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely. Good movie though.
Cookie holes.
Yeah. And then, and I know we kind of like talked about The Departed a little bit, but yeah, man, that might be one of my favorite, like mafia, I guess mob adjacent, you know, organized crime movie. Jack Nicholson's fucking great in that movie.
It really is. It's one of the best ones. Like really, when it comes to just like non-Italian affiliated like mob movies, fantastic.
Yeah, and even like what's his fucking name? Mark. Am I thinking
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah,
like
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, he was great in that. I'll even give it to Alec Baldwin. He's pretty good in that movie too. But DiCaprio and Matt Damon, they were killer in that movie.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a star-studded cast, like from front to back for
Yeah.
sure. And then like I'm just trying to think of like any other ones that we may have not have mentioned. We mentioned Black Mass before, and
I think I still need to see that one. That one,
you know what? Like, that one's a slow burn for sure. And like, but you really need to know the history of that. And like a really great book, if you ever get a chance. I don't know how much of a reader you are or nothing like that, but it's called not Mobster. I think. Hold on a second. I'll pull it up real quick because I have it in my Audible actually because I listened to it, and I was blown away by how great it was. Hitman. It's called Hitman, and it's about the one guy. I can't remember. It was John something. It'll probably come to me after I get off the live stream, where he was like the hitman for the Winter Hill Gang, and he was the one that actually did like the shot on like John Callahan, and like actually like it killed him out in like Miami and stuff like that. So like that was like the guy, John, some with an H, I think. Anyway, but like that's the guy. Like, and the book goes into all kinds of detail about the Winter Hill Gang and with like a Whitey Bulger and all this type of stuff. So like it's really interesting, and it gives you a lot more backstory behind Black Mass, which I mean, like to me is so much cooler because like these movies are fantastic, but they leave a lot of things out that I think are character building. And like if you're able to like get more into this realm of like the underground crime and the organized crime stuff, like reading the books that go along with the movies really paints the picture perfectly, and I really highly recommend checking that out. Hitman.
Okay.
That was really cool.
Okay, gotcha. 1990 was a good year for not just mob movies because, like I mentioned, State of Grace also came in 1990 along with Goodfellas, and Goodfellas of course had Joe Pesci playing Tommy DeVito, like to me, he was a highlight of Goodfellas. He was like just a complete psychopath. But State of Grace has Gary Oldman playing a character just like Joe Pesci's Tommy DeVito. Gary Oldman is like, he's a fucking neutron bomb in that movie. You're just like, I don't know what he's going to do next.
I'm going to watch that one for sure.
Yeah, he's like the Irish version of Tommy DeVito, Joe Pesci. I mean, you just never know what he's going to do. He flies off the handle. He's like just this powder keg, and only Sean Penn and Robin Wright can kind of calm him down because they all grew up as childhood friends. But if you're not Sean Penn and Robin Wright, and then Ed Harris plays his brother, if you're not any of those people, look the fuck out because Gary Oldman's character in there, he could wrap his arms around you, give you a good old hug, or he could stick a gun in your mouth and blow you away. You just don't know what's going to happen in the encounter with Gary Oldman. I forget what his character's name is in that movie, but yeah, it reminds me of Joe Pesci's character in Goodfellas. It's just
we're all forgetting about the amazing fucking mob movie with John Travolta as Gotti.
I had purposely forgot about that. So
yeah. Dude, I'm sorry. I was looking up like best mafia movies and it said Gotti, not that movie, the one that was in 96. And I was like, oh, I want to look that up. That was too funny.
One in 96 was good. That's Armand Asante.
Yeah.
Playing John Gotti. But you know what? Let's get serious here for a second, guys. I think like the most, and I'm being real, the most serious, the best classic mob movie is Married to the Mob. I mean, it literally has mob in the name of the title.
Come on, you can't not have that, right?
And Michelle Pfeiffer, like when you think the mafia, you think Michelle Pfeiffer, right? I mean,
every time.
Yeah, every single
time.
First
comes to my mind.
Yep.
No.
Great movie.
Okay, we're past the 2-hour mark. I think it's time I can finally share a good tribute to Tony Sirico, and we can start winding this guy down a little bit.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Can't hear it.
Yeah. I can't hear it.
You can't hear it.
Nope.
Why can't you hear it?
I can't hear you.
It's all the polylast. it's all the scenes of just Paulie going.
Let me see. What is this? Best laugh. Let me see if it'll work on mine.
I don't know why it wouldn't work on mine because that's how I always shared my stuff before.
Polly Walnuts.
Yeah, Polly Walnuts laugh, and it's like a minute 39.
Yeah. And you were mentioning, Shawn, like Tony Sirico, he had a bit part in Goodfellas. So
he had a small little bit, and it was just like putting the postman into like the pizzeria or into the pizza oven.
Yep.
No offense, but
I can hear it.
I can hear it now too. Yep.
What? Tourette syndrome. Seriously.
Bingo!
Copyright YMCA.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get right there. This is gonna happen.
Some guy dressed like an Indian just showed up on my front door.
Wait, what?
For the village people.
I thought you said someone dressed up like
dressed like a cop, and there's another guy in S&M shit.
I didn't know if you were talking about snipers.
It's a joke.
That's right.
So good.
You changed it up on it.
Jane. Yes.
That's the best one where he's watching the TV in the hotel room next to him. He goes,
That I like how there were a couple different ones. There were like the reprise. It was like, like the short, like little one. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's usually like 5 or 6.
He did the one where you went,
It's usually HEH, but he did like an HAH and then an HOH.
Usually, that's the main one.
Yeah, look at the end with it. Just a successive. It reminds me at the end of Batman with Michael Keaton, where Joker's like falling to the ground and they got that alarm clock on him. And
Yep. Okay. One of the funniest fucking parts about the original Batman is when they're in the bell tower and there's that black dude that comes out and he goes, ha! And then just falls straight through the floor. It's like, what was the point of that? Like,
right.
Diversity hire.
I'm dead.
Oh, well, real quick, I just need to mention our sponsor real quick. 1-800-GIRLS. We want to go ahead and thank 1-800-GIRLS for going ahead and sponsoring the show for today because we have all of your escort needs right here at naked.hd.
How dare you?
There, they made it to the screen. That's what they wanted. They were begging for it for over 2 hours. Like, please, just put us up on the screen.
I'm kind of retarded.
All we want to do is get some free advertising. They're back.
Because an erection.
Oh my God, they got it. They came back because you put it up there, you dingus. God damn it.
There's 4 of them. This is boom, boom. Look, we're getting hit with boom, boom, boom. It's comment after comment now of all from. You can go ahead and block them again.
I'm on it. I'm trying.
1-800-GIRLS.
We got fucking We got R-worded fucking dingus over here.
Well, now we know that we can't hashtag Ray Liotta's name because all that comes up is escort services.
Sorry, movies. We cannot have you on again.
You brought the sexy back.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I will not be the fall guy for your version. All right.
Can't help it, man. Like,
You know, you went to hunterbiden.com and that.
it's an addiction.
Well, then we have to feel sorry for you?
I don't know if you have to feel sorry for me. You just
Medical condition. Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta treat it. He can be reformed. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to find something that exemplifies our whole podcast. Wait for it. There we go.
Yeah. Hard R.
I mean, it's after 2 hours. Retard. I can say it.
You can say it now. That's right. We're after 2 hours.
Retard.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm about good. Was there anything else that you wanted to say? Movies?
Actually, I just wanted to first off thank you guys for having me on, man. It's great hanging with you guys. I just love like sitting here and just shooting the shit with you guys. I like how it's not formatted, right? I like how we go off the beaten path. We just kind of go off on these tangents.
It goes where it goes.
I dig it. Yeah. So, but check me out on moviesmerica.com. Check me out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you find our podcast. So yeah, I'm out there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm out there as well under Movies Merica.
After we're all done here, send me all your links because I only put the moviesmerica.com and your Twitter handle. So send me all the other links and I'll add them in there to the description. So any replays of the stream. So
you bet.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Yep. Oh, and also if you have any questions about the video podcasting stuff, you need any help with that too, totally message one of us and then we'll have we'll help you out with that, I guess.
Yeah, we'll point you in the right directions for sure because you deserve to have a video podcast as well.
That's touching. That's very heartwarming over here. So yeah.
Just remember that video is the medium, so make it exciting.
Yes, tantalize the eyes, right? Give them
That's right.
piece for the eyes.
One thing kind of cool with that too is even if you're doing just the audio podcast, you can do like the audio waveforms or something that kind of goes with the audio, so it's something visual. That's what we did for the first 55 episodes. It was all audio of the Til Death podcast with me and my wife. And so I was like, oh, we need to do some video, some sort of video content. So I was like, oh, cool. So I figured out After Effects and figured out how to do the little audio spectrum. And so I just put that up there with whatever fucking background and whatever. So it was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done that a couple of times there. So I'm too lazy to keep doing it, but I got to get over that. I mean, it's, I just got to dig right into it, get it done. So, I'll thank you guys for advice on that. So, yeah. And I know where to go to become a professional at getting sex links to get in your chats as well.
See, we're moving on up. We're moving on up.
Yeah. Obviously they're catching us and they're paying attention to us. So that's something. We got something going on right now.
It's good to be wanted.
That's right.
It's good to be wanted.
Even if we have to pay for the want.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a banner for you here, sir, so we can have people actually see your. Oh, that was weird. I thought I was able to make a banner. I guess you're not able to have anymore. That's fucking weird.
No more banners? What?
I guess we have too many.
Oh, Jesus.
Banner allotment already?
I know. Really? Come on.
I hope we don't
There
run
we
out of
go.
video-
All right, cool.
video drops.
So we got @MoviesMerica on Twitter and then moviesmerica.com for all the links and where to go and all that stuff. Good to go? Sweet.
Very good.
Yeah.
We got
The true American, he'll go there right
That's me. I mean, like I'm definitely putting a lot of my focus lately in the whiskey capitalist. I think that's going to be like the big future for me for sure, for just trying to promote video podcasts. But I'm still doing the Sippin with Shawn podcast. You can go over there and support the at patreon.com/Sippin with Shawn, and as low as $1 a month gets you in with all the exclusive content right now. So like I would highly recommend jumping on board.
Yeah, buddy. And then, speaking of Whiskey Capitalist, we got solo.to/whiskeycapitalist. Just go there for all the links. Just kind of a basic splash page. Nothing too crazy. And then if you want to have any, and this is extended to you also, movies, if you want any editing or video stuff or anything, just go to solo.to/tildeathstudios. But you have an in, so just message me.
You get nothing.
Just check that out. I do like video graphics, any of the I'm kind of learning as I go. So anything that anyone needs, just kind of ask me and I'll, fucking search on how to do it and try and give you the best. All the graphics we got for all this was all me. I mean, a little, but then also also solo.to/Til Death Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the channel that you're on, is Til Death Podcast. So if you're a little confused why it's Whiskey Capitalist, Til Death, we're just trying to throw it on a channel that still has a couple subscribers, and then once it gets bigger we might section it off, or at least do a clips channel, or something like that. Go check it out. I have a podcast, me and my wife. We haven't put out an episode in a little while, but we're going to be doing one on Saturday. So that should be fun. A new one. Go check that out. We just put up the first clips from the first live stream from last week. We put up, I think there were 8 clips. If you want to go check those out and, leave some comments, some shares, some likes, all that good stuff. And, make sure you follow everyone, and what any other stupid thing we got to do.
That's it, buddy. I think we got to put up the ending card now.
Cool. And I will make sure to end the broadcast.
Oh, so we don't have to do the whole ducking thing?
Yeah. Luckily it didn't show up. Yeah, exactly. Luckily it didn't show up where we had to cut anything, but it was good. Yeah, we're like, oh shit. It was like Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith in Independence Day were like where the windows are open.
Oh yeah, it's Independence Day. It was like, oh shit.
What do we do now? Hide. All right, guys, appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging around and listening to us. 3 idiots talk about mobster movies and adjacent mobster movies, and trying to say that Sons of Anarchy is a mob show.
It's not. It's organized crime. We all established that.
Congress has spoken. It's organized crimes.
That's right.
All right,
There's a chapter called Mob Movies.
Yeah, exactly. Mob adjacent. All right, cool. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you next Monday on the Twitter Spaces, and then back here for a live stream. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Peace.